Welcome to History on Repeat, a podcast that delves into the fascinating stories and mysteries of the past. I'm your host, Jackie Sharp, author of the Carroll and Delaney historical mystery series set in 1940s London. As a writer, I'm constantly researching and uncovering intriguing tales from history that inspire my novels. In each episode of this podcast, we'll explore a captivating historical event, figure, or phenomenon that echoes through time and shapes our understanding of the present. From the foggy streets of post-war London to the hidden corners of history, join me on a journey of discovery as we unravel secrets, debunk myths, and shed light on the enduring mysteries of yesteryear. Whether you're a history buff, a fan of my Carroll and Delaney mysteries, or simply someone who loves a good story, this podcast is for you. So let's turn back the clock and immerse ourselves in the twists and turns of history. When you think of World War II in Britain, what comes to mind? The Blitz, rationing, keep calm and carry on posters. Those are all iconic parts of the war years. But there was another side to life on the home front, the seedy underbelly of the black market and the rise of the spiv. Some characters in my own novels are based on infamous underworld criminals of that era, the rogues who saw an opportunity to exploit the wartime situation to their own advantage. So what exactly was the black market? Basically, it was an illegal trade in rationed or price-controlled goods. With strict rationing in place for everything from food to clothing to fuel, some enterprising or just plain greedy folks saw an opportunity to make a quick profit by selling goods on the sly. And that business boomed. By 1941, the black market was estimated to be worth a staggering £150 million a year. That's over £6 billion in today's money. People were selling all sorts of things under the table. Extra rations of butter and sugar, nylon stockings, petrol coupons. If it was hard to come by legally, chances are you could get it on the black market for a price. Of course, the government wasn't too happy about all this dodgy dealing. They cracked down hard, with fines and even prison sentences for black marketeers. But it was like playing whack-a-mole. As soon as they shut down one operation, another would pop up somewhere else. And then there were the spivs, the flashy, sharp-suited men who became the public face of the black market. These guys were the ultimate wheeler dealers, always on the lookout for a way to make a fast buck. They'd hang around on street corners, in pubs, at the racetrack, offering to hook you up with anything you needed, for a fee, of course. The spivs became a fixture of wartime and post-war British culture. They were portrayed in movies and novels as cheeky chappies or sinister villains, depending on who was telling the story. Some even became minor celebrities like Flash Harry Fenton, the self-proclaimed king of the spivs. But while the spivs might have seemed like harmless rogues, the black market they operated in had a darker side. Organised crime got in on the action, with infamous gangsters like Jack Spot running large-scale black market operations. There were even rumours of Nazi sympathisers using the black market to funnel money and supplies to Germany. Jack Spot, born Jacob Colmore, was a gangster who rose to prominence in the East End of London during the 1930s and 40s. He earned his nickname Spot because of a large birthmark on his face. Spot started his criminal career as a street hustler and boxer, but quickly moved up the ranks to become one of the most powerful figures in the London underworld. One of Spot's most profitable black market ventures was in stolen petrol, gasoline coupons. Petrol was strictly rationed during the war, but Spot's gang would steal ration books from gas stations or bribe officials to get their hands on extra coupons. They'd then sell these coupons on at inflated prices to desperate motorists or black market dealers. Spot was a cunning operator, always one step ahead of the law. He bribed police officers to turn a blind eye to his activities and used violence and intimidation to keep his rivals in check. At the height of his power, Spot was said to be earning the equivalent of over £20,000 a day in today's money from his black market empire. But Spot's reign couldn't last forever. After the war, as the black market began to decline, Spot found himself in an increasingly bloody turf war with rival gangs, including the infamous Cray twins. In 1955, he was attacked by a gang of Cray associates and shot in the face, leaving him with a permanent scar. The attack marked the beginning of the end for Spot's criminal empire. He retreated from the gangland scene and lived out his days in relative obscurity, dying in 1997 at the age of 84. There were a long list of characters like Jack Spot Colmore. Billy Hill, known as the King of the London underworld, was a powerful gangster who ran a vast black market operation during the war. He specialised in stealing and redistributing luxury goods like silk stockings, chocolate, and whiskey. Hill had a reputation as a charming and persuasive figure, able to corrupt police officers and officials to protect his empire. Alfred Alf Dimes was a gangster who operated in the East End during the 1940s. He was known as the Prince of Black Marketeers for his extensive involvement in the illegal trade of rationed goods. Dimes had a particular knack for obtaining and selling on stolen clothing coupons, which were highly prized during the war years. George Sage, known by his nickname Brodie, was another key figure in the London black market trade in the 1940s. He specialised in the illegal sale of petrol, gasoline, and meat, both of which were strictly rationed. Brodie was known for his quick wit and his ability to always stay one step ahead of the law. Not to be confused with the famous comedian of the same name, Bud Flanagan was involved in a wide range of illegal activities, from stealing ration books to selling counterfeit clothing coupons. Flanagan was known for his flashy lifestyle and his love of betting on greyhound races. While not strictly a black market gang, the 43 Group was a Jewish anti-fascist organisation that sometimes used black market tactics to fund their activities. Founded by Jewish ex-servicemen after World War II, the group fought against the resurgence of fascism in Britain. They would sometimes steal and sell on black market goods to raise money for their cause. These are just a few examples of the colourful cast of characters who operated in London's wartime and post-war black market. From flamboyant gangsters to politically motivated groups, the black market attracted a wide range of individuals looking to profit from the chaos and scarcity of the times. As the war ended and rationing began to ease, you might think the black market would have died out. But old habits die hard, and the culture of wheeling and dealing lived on. In fact, some historians argue that the post-war black market was even bigger than during the war years, thanks to the massive demand for luxury goods and the slow pace of economic recovery. It wasn't until the mid-1950s that rationing finally ended and the black market faded away. But the legacy of those years lived on. The spiv became a staple of British popular culture, a symbol of a certain kind of roguish charm, and a reminder of the country's resilience during hard times. So next time you watch an old war movie or read a novel set in the 1940s, keep an eye out for the spiv in his sharp suit and trilby hat, with a glint in his eye and a deal on his lips. He may not have been the most honourable of characters, but he was certainly an unforgettable part of Britain's wartime and post-war history.